Ladies and gentlemen, episode number 21. It's been almost a year since we last released an episode, which is crazy to me, but so much has happened since then. I know so much is going on in the world. Hope everybody is safe and sound. I know last year was a little tough on my end because I wasn't able to come out with content once a week like I had originally promised, but I am going to try my best to stay consistent with the content coming out once per week, an episode for you to watch and for you to hear. The Spotify and the Apple Podcast episodes will be updated by next week. But to get going, episode number 21 is with NEZZA. She is a singer, songwriter, professional dancer, and a YouTuber. In the podcast, we talk a lot about her artist career, her move from San Jose to Los Angeles, when she started YouTube, and a bunch of other stuff that I think you guys would find interesting. So I hope that the episodes that are being released will inspire you, will encourage you, and will push you to keep going on, keep moving forward, and don't let anything delay you. I also wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's pretty cool. I had this sign made by Serenity Signs, which you can find on Instagram, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if it's filling up the whole camera, but pretty cool. I encourage you to reach out to Serenity Signs on Instagram. Check out all their stuff. Everything's custom made, and it takes a lot of work, so I really appreciate Veronica for designing this for me. Very simple, but I felt like it would add a nice touch to the studio space here at home. Episode 21 coming your way. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And again, if you're just an audio listener, you don't want to watch the YouTube videos, you can check out all the other previous episodes starting next Friday. So I don't know what date that is, but make sure you check it out. Stay safe and stay sane. Episode 21 coming your way. Welcome to episode number 21 of Sir Kevin Says. Happy New Year. Today I am with NEZZA.
Hey.
Singer-songwriter, choreographer, and YouTuber.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going great.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's been great. This is like the first thing I'm doing this year, so
nice.
Off to a good start.
What'd you do for the New Year?
I was with my friends. Family, unfortunately, wasn't in town this year, but I got to spend it with my friends, which was great.
Nice. So you're originally not from Los Angeles.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not a Los Angelesian, whatever they
Angelino,
say.
I think. Yeah.
I'm originally from the Bay Area.
Nice.
Yeah, and I love it. Yeah, right after high school, I was like, I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to figure it out. Wanted to be a dancer, so I came out here to do the dance thing, and it's been amazing. I've been so blessed and fortunate to have a lot of opportunities out here. So it's been great.
You wear a bunch of different hats, right? You're a dancer.
But I've always, since I was a kid, like I was always that girl. My parents would always be like, "You're juggling too many things." That's so funny that you say that because I've always been the one to wear too many hats. Like I was in student council. I was the president of any club you could possibly think of, even the Harry Potter club. Who started it? Don't know. And I had dance after school, and that was like my life, and it was just so much. But originally, I grew up dancing, so that was the thing that was like my life, and it still is. It'll never leave me. My parents are both dancers, so it was inevitable. My sister as well. They threw me into classes when I was like 5 years old, and they thought it was just going to be like a summer hobby, and it turned into like the rest of my life.
Wow.
And then I moved out here. I didn't know about the industry at all, and I don't have parents that come from the industry either, so I was just sitting at home one day. I think I was watching like TRL, and I don't remember what music video was playing, but I was like, how do these dancers get these jobs? I was like, there has to be a way that they get it. So then I started doing my research, and I was like, oh, what's an agent? What's an agency? And then I started Googling the top dance agencies in LA, and one of them, Block, just so happened to be having their auditions like 2 days after. So I was like, this is meant to be. And so I was like, Dad, can I audition for this? And he goes, what is it? And he was like, yeah. And we just packed up our things and left, and we drove to LA. He took work off, and we came out here. I didn't make it the first time. I don't think I've ever really said that story, but I didn't actually make it the first year. I auditioned my junior year of high school.
Okay.
And then tried one more time my senior year, and they were like, we'd love to sign you. And it was just like so fast. They're like, you need to move out here immediately. And so I just like moved out here, and it's been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. After that, did you start your singing career as well?
Yes. So singing, I've always had a love for music because
Right.
being from a very big music dance family, obviously music is a big part of the love for dance. And I started singing in high school. My parents had no idea because I just didn't know how to tell them, and I didn't know if I was like good or whatever. And I actually entered the talent show my senior year, doing like I think I sang "Poker Face" by Lady Gaga, like stripped on the piano.
Yeah.
And I told my parents I was dancing, and they came to see me. And when I came up on stage and started singing, they were like blown away and like
Wow.
didn't believe it. I still hadn't done anything about it at that point. Dance was still I was so involved in dance. I was competing at the time. And so when I moved out here, I was like, I really want to get into music. And it was actually I actually pretty much owe him a lot for my love of music. I was next door neighbors with a man called Dayon Tubic, big choreographer, one of my amazing friends to this day. And he was choreographing for a girl group. And one of the girls dropped out, and he goes, "Hey, I know you love to sing. Would you like to audition for this girl group that I choreograph for?" And I auditioned, made it. We got signed to Interscope.
Wow.
We were with Interscope for a minute. Yeah, I've never really told this story. It's so
That's
weird.
great.
You're getting
Well,
the
thanks for
exclusive.
sharing.
You're getting the exclusive. Yeah, signed to Interscope. We were there for a while, and then just stuff always happens. It just wasn't the right fit, so we ended up leaving Interscope, and then we signed over to Def Jam for a little bit. And then, as all girl groups,
Yeah.
it just kind of like fell apart. I'm still friends with the girls to this day, but yeah, that was like the beginning of like me really figuring out what the industry is about, the music industry, and really being well versed on like the back end of things and labels and contracts and all that. So blessed to have gone through that, even though it didn't work out. And then I just went back to dancing. Like I just was like, let me just make money. Let me just continue doing what I came out here to do. And then the Univision House came about last year, which was so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't, to this day, I don't even know how they found me, but they reached out. Univision reached out. They wanted to do a music residency, and they wanted to put some artists in a house and develop them as artists, but also develop their social media. And so I signed immediately. I didn't even think about it. I moved into the house like a month later and dropped a bunch of music. It did amazing. Those girls are my best friends till this day. And yeah, that was like the push start of like the real music wave, because I'm not dancing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm fully focusing on music. But yeah, I owe Univision a lot
That's
for that.
awesome.
Yeah.
One of your songs, Temporary, has about 500,000 streams, or is it a little bit more than
So
that
it
now?
has it has over 500,000 on Spotify, but overall, if you add up all the platforms, it's over 1 million,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
How's that? What's the process like? Because I've always wondered people that, hit these milestones in their career musically or
Yeah.
with video views.
Yeah.
What's that like? Explain to the viewers what it feels like, or,
Yeah. With Temporary, that was my first single that I dropped ever. And so for it to go like it did, to this day, no, like we all talk about it to this day, like the Univision team, we don't know because we didn't do anything special. We just dropped it. And so I think it just shows like when you have something that's good and
Yeah.
people respond, like how people respond to
Right.
that. And that for me was so satisfying, knowing that like I'm doing what was always supposed to be doing. My first song out, and here we're at 1 million streams without putting anything into marketing.
Much marketing or
nothing.
Yeah.
Like we literally I had just started my YouTube channel. I was maybe at like 30,000 subscribers, and the video's at 200,000 views. So it feels like you're doing what you've always were meant to be doing,
Right.
basically.
Right.
But yeah, Temporary to this day is everyone's favorite song.
It's one of my favorite songs.
It's a great
song.
It was my favorite one to perform for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorites, and it's like it's always gonna be the baby. It's always gonna be the one that everyone like looks back to.
Right.
And I love MJ, so that was like the whole inspo.
That's cool.
For the song, I was
Yeah.
like, I need an MJ funky track. I said, I want to put on a suit. I want to I want to dance like Smooth Criminal for the video, and that's basically how that came about. Yeah.
What are some essentials that you would say is important to have?
You always got to be real, because subscribers and fans, they know when it's not genuine, especially being in LA. you know, I run into so many of my fans on the street every day. And, you know, if you're not real on camera, they're going to know when you're not real in person. And it just, it loses that authenticity.
Authenticity, yeah.
Yeah. What's, I feel like the people that are big on YouTube are the most relatable ones because girls these days want to know that the people they look up to are just like them, going through the same things, look like them, you know, have to deal with acne in the morning, you know, all of that. And so I think that's what I always like to tell people when they ask me, they're like, you know, how did you grow on YouTube? And I was like, I was just myself. I found a way to be fun and entertain, but also be myself.
Right.
And so they grow with you, they love you, and they you know, they stay loyal that way because when they meet you in person, you're the same person that they're watching on screen.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time, other than, oh my God, you're so much shorter than I thought. Because I guess I photograph really tall. That's like the only thing I get. But other than that, people are always like, you're just like how you are on camera. Like, and I was like, I know.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
the same
cool.
goofball I am on camera. So,
That's
yeah.
cool.
I always tell people to be real. Don't try and, like, you can follow the trends. Like, there's always, like, that one, like, dance challenge or something that's, like, trending. And you can totally do that. But, like, just find a way to twist it to be your own.
Right.
So.
Who are some people you draw inspiration from?
Okay. Music-wise, right now, my everything is Rosalia. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like
she won a Grammy this year, right?
Yeah, when she's nominated for Best New Artist.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like, of course you are.
Yeah.
Because you're amazing. I look to her for more of like the artistic appeal. She is so insane on stage, just as a performer. And I actually, vocal-wise, I feel like, I always say this, but I feel like I learned how to sing through Adele, which is weird because if you look at my old cover videos from like 2009, I could not sing. I was like, what is that? I'm off tune. I'm off key the entire time. But I would just listen to her songs on the daily every day and just try to mimic. And I feel like that's how I really learned how to sing.
Yeah.
Janet is also one that I have always looked up to. Yeah, that was my first concert ever. Was Janet Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah. My dad was like, I was like, please. I was like, I need to go see her. And he was like, sure. And he's like a huge fan. He didn't even like hesitate at all.
What's your favorite album from her?
Honestly, I don't know. I begged to go to the Velvet Rope tour because I feel like that was like, for me, just overall, even performance-wise, everything she put into that was, like, amazing. Me and my sister would, like, sit and, like, watch the music videos and learn the choreography and, like, perform it for my parents. So that was, like, a big thing growing up. Inspo-wise, like, on YouTube, honestly, my friends have been the biggest, like, inspo for me and also the biggest support group. Because I feel like we all do YouTube at this point. Like the whole friend circle does YouTube now. And so we help each other out. We throw around ideas. Like I've even edited videos for friends when they're too busy. And like, I'll do this for you. You go do your thing. I'll edit it for you. So they've been a huge support system for me. And they're great and they're a good time. So.
When did you get started with YouTube again?
So being in the Univision residency, part of the project was starting a YouTube channel. And so we would post 3 videos a week, which is unheard of. Anytime I say that, YouTubers are like, you posted how many? We posted 3 videos a week, and we had like a whole team there. We had a producer, an editor, who would help us out with everything. And that was the start of I started my YouTube channel because it says 2009. Because that's when I made the account, and I would post covers like every night as a kid. On YouTube.
You still have them up there?
They're on private. Some of them are still up. There's maybe like 3 that are still up from like 2009 if you go search for them. But yeah, most of them are on private now because I was like, what? Like, why did I think that was on key? Like, but so technically in 2009 is when I started like posting up YouTube covers, and I would post a lot of dance videos too. Yeah. So that was cool. But really officially like doing like learning about like I didn't know what AdSense was. I didn't know what any of that was. That really started like a year and a half ago.
So you've been doing YouTube technically since 2009, a decade.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So what are some things that you would say has changed over the years, and how have you had to adapt to that?
Yeah, it's changed immensely. I mean, I feel like in 2009, it was so easy to gain subscribers on YouTube. It was so easy. Like, I would just post, like, literally on a MacBook. I didn't even edit. Like, what was editing? I would literally just, like, go on Photo Booth, upload a video, and that was it. It's just become so... I mean, there's, millions of people on YouTube now?
Oh, my gosh.
It's become so competitive, just as, like, any industry does. Like, and, it's just... It's harder now just because it's so... There's just so many people trying to do the same thing.
Right.
And you also have your core people that are like at the top. And it's hard because everyone's watching them. And that's really what has changed. Also, like ads. That's changed. That's a big thing, monetization. And the YouTubers are living fully off of YouTube. Like, that wasn't a thing in 2009. I didn't hear of anyone like being a millionaire from YouTube. So it's I feel like just as a career, it's changed. Like, there's little kids that are like, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. And I actually had an interview 2 years ago at VidCon, and they were like, how do you feel about parents, not letting their kids like focus on YouTube as a career because they don't think it's a real thing? And I was like, that's hard to say because obviously, like, you still should go to college. You still should have an education. I went a different way just because I went to the arts. So dance for me, I didn't get to do that because I either had to, and I was trying to do school out here, and I either had to decide, do I go to that tour audition or do I go to my midterm? And it got to be like, what am I out here for, right? So I didn't take that way, but I do tell people that if you are doing YouTube, it's very possible to still do college and do school. So it's hard. I don't think parents should be like, no, you can't do that because we're in a day and age where you can.
Exactly.
And you can be so successful and so financially stable that I don't feel like parents should be telling their kids like, no, don't do that because I had my dentist, actually, it was so funny. My dentist was like, what do you do? Because I have a new dentist out here. And I was like, oh, I do YouTube. And she was, oh my God, my son wants to get into it. She goes, he told me the other day, Mom, I want to be a gamer. And I was like, what? And
Fortnite.
She goes, he's like, I want to be a gamer. He's like 8. And I was like, you should let him do it. You never know. I was like, you should get him on Twitch because Twitch is obviously like the gaming stream. And she was like, what's that? And I was like telling her about Twitch. I was like, you should do some research on Twitch. And she goes, thank you. And I was like, yeah, you should let him do it because you never know. Like for me, I feel like my following is just, it's always that one video that you never know is going to take off for you. And still to this day, I'm known as the In My Feelings Challenge girl. And that for me, that's how my whole following came about, was from that. I had gained like 100,000 people in a night. And I woke up to that and was just like, that's insane. What happened? And it was just something so out of the whim. My friends were like, you should do this challenge video. Just do it. Like, it's a dance challenge. You should do it. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to like be that girl, And sure enough, posted it. 10 million views like in a few days, and I was like, you just never know. It's that one video, and you should just So I've never said no to anything after that. I was like, fine. Like,
there was a competition, gaming competition with Fortnite streamers, and a 16-year-old won.
Yeah, he won like $1 million, $3 million. Yeah,
like I remember my parents used to tell me, hey, like don't play games too long. Like that's not gonna get you a career, and like that's not even something you can say anymore.
No. Because streaming is now a thing, right? So like, and I didn't even know about the gaming stream. Like, I didn't know it was a thing that people watch, other people play video games. I had no idea. That was so new to me this past year. Yeah, and I was like, that is crazy. Like, if I told my parents, like, but obviously we didn't have like streaming back then. But if I told my parents, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, oh my gosh, they would be like, what do you mean? What does that mean? But yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, it won $3 million. That's
crazy. I mean, he was probably taxed. I don't know how much out of the $3 million he got, but up there for sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, last year we did VidCon.
Yeah, we did. So good. That was my first real show.
That was awesome. Kevin was
my drummer, if y'all didn't know that.
I thought it was Triangle, right?
Yeah, you were Triangle. No, it was great. How did that even come about? Who reached out to you?
So Camilo is
my guitarist.
Guitar player. We've known each other for the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
We've done a couple of recording sessions with an artist named Quit Vega.
I love Quitla.
Yes,
Yeah.
So we do occasionally. Camilo will hit me up to do some recording sessions with him, and I was introduced to Camilo through my friend Joseph, another
Cool.
bass player who plays for Kiefer Sutherland, the actor.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Hey, there's a recording session," and then we just kept in touch that way. And then he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I got hit up for this major show with my friend." He started asking me all these questions. He's like, "What do you think we should do? How should we put it together?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? What's the deal? Like, what are we playing?
Yeah.
You didn't know. He's like, "Oh, is this type of festival? Like, whatever." And then coming to find out, it's like VidCon, one of the biggest in the world.
The biggest.
So that's how it came about, and then we all came together.
Yeah, because I asked Camilo, and I was like, I need a band. He goes, I got you. And then next thing I know, I was being sent all your profiles, and I was like, perfect, book them, let's do it. Yeah, no, that was amazing. That was actually my first, I can say that's like maybe my only real show I've ever done. And it's crazy what like manifesting will do too, because I'm a big believer in that. And I literally said 2 years. I was like, I will be performing at VidCon.
That's awesome.
In 2 years. And it happened. But yeah, I mean, that show, I still watch the videos and I'm like blown away.
Yeah, I always watch the ones with your parents screaming on, you're doing the cover of Havana.
My mom's like on her like camera and like, she's so funny because when she sent me the video, she's like, Vanessa, and she was like sad. I was like, what's wrong? And she goes, I messed up all your videos. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I was too loud and I was screaming. And I was like, no, Mom, it's fine. I love it. And so she sent me all the videos and I was like, oh my God, she's like screaming. She's singing along. You can't even like really hear anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the first time they really had like seen me full on doing that. Cause I've done little shows here and there where I sing like open mic and stuff. And they've always heard me sing. But I feel like that was like a really like, wake up call for them, which is crazy because you think it would have happened by now. I've been here a minute, but for them, that I think that was like the official, like, okay, she was meant to do this, which was amazing.
How was the support like? I know you talked a little bit about it already, but having your parents or your family, some of your closest friends come and support you. What's that like? How do you feel?
There's no really words for that. I mean, I'll never forget that specific show because it was like the first one. I was a mess after. I was crying for like forever. I mean, if you watch the YouTube video back, I'm just like a mess. I had so many people. It's just, again, it's one of those things where like it's that satisfaction of I was meant to do this. Yeah. And there's no really feeling like it. There's also no feeling like looking into the crowd and everyone singing your song.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's so loud.
That was nuts. Like having them sing Strangers, I was like, and even them having sing, like some people in the crowd were singing Cuentos and that had dropped the night before.
Right.
So I was like, this is so much, and so I was like, it also makes you so hungry. It makes you so hungry to do it again. So like, I've been craving to do another show, and hopefully a tour this year. We will see.
That's awesome.
Because the album drops this year. Oh my God,
That's so cool.
So I have 2 projects dropping this year, so hopefully that'll skyrocket into being able to tour around.
And your producer is out in Miami.
The whole team, Unlisted,
Wow.
Unlisted Music.
So you have to go back and forth to work on the album?
Sometimes when they're out here, we'll do stuff out here. But yeah, I love Miami. I've always said I would totally try and do the bi-coastal thing. But yeah, so I'll just fly out there and we'll do a little camp for like a week. Yeah. I was out there for a month in August and we just like all lived in a house together and just like worked and wrote and recorded the project basically. Yeah.
Other current passions besides dancing, singing, and YouTube?
YouTube. I don't know. That's so hard when dance like is like everything and music is everything. I don't know. I mean, I love to read. I've been trying. I actually want to start a charity this year.
Awesome.
That's like on my like
great.
Manifestation 2020 chart. I want to actually throw like a big charity event. I would love to open a homeless shelter one day. I've never said that. Yeah, I would love to open a few homeless shelters. I don't know what it is. My mom's always had it too. Like we're just very, when it comes to homeless people, we're just like very
giving.
Yeah. It's just So I want to open a few homeless shelters. My friend actually does this amazing thing every February that I go and I help out with. It's called the Love Project. And it's always around Valentine's Day, and we'll all get together and we'll pack lunches. We'll pack like little like bags of like toiletries and stuff, and then we'll all like take a bus over and just pass it out on Skid Row.
Man,
So yeah, just
that's
stuff
cool.
like that. I feel like there just needs to be more of that, especially with like the platform. Now that I have a platform, I can finally actually say that I have like a platform. Like I need to make a difference in some way.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What are some other goals you have this year too? I mean, or in the next decade?
Yeah, the next decade. I just said like with a British accent. Where'd that come from? The decade. Want to drop the project. I'm actually dropping a whole Spanish project. So that'll be very interesting to see the feedback on that because I only have one Spanish song out. So we'll see. Dropping the English project. My biggest goal for the decade is to do a world tour.
Mm.
So that's like,
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. Grammys.
Yep.
VMAs. So that's like all like on my chart of like manifestation of like what I want to happen. I want to be able to buy a house for my family so that they don't have to worry about anything, just stuff like that. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, oh, like the clock's ticking. My mom's like, where's my house? She's always like, where's my car? Where's my Mercedes? I'm like, Mom, we're getting there. And also like pay off my sister's student loans because yeah.
What do they go to school for?
So I only have one little sister. Okay. Hey, Caroline. It's funny. So my dad wanted us to be astronauts, and that's always what I said I was gonna be. And in high school, I was ASP president and had the straight A's and was all that. And so when my principal was like, "You're not going to college," I was like, he literally blew everyone away because they were like, I turned down my college admission. I accepted and then got signed and then went to the dean and was like, I'm so sorry. Wow. I need to do this. And they were like, we support you. Go do your thing. So I didn't become the astronaut, but she's like still determined. So she is studying, I want to say astrobiology. And
astrobiology, yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He would know. He would know. Yeah.
Astrobio, yeah. And she actually just did like an internship at NASA this past summer. So she's like full on doing it.
There's man, I might be a noob for not knowing this. Is it in Dallas or Texas?
Well, we actually have a NASA base in the Bay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the only reason I know that is because we went to so many field trips. So many field trips were on visiting NASA and stuff. So she had like a little internship, and which I was really proud of her for that because she's always said, I'm going to do it, and she did it. So yeah, she's become the brainiac, which is funny because it wasn't that at all growing up. She was like she hated school, like was lazy, like didn't want to do school, and I was always like, the star little pupil, and then we completely switched places. But yeah, she's doing great. Super proud of her. But she's going to like a private university for it, so it's expensive. So I was like, yeah, I'll help you out one day. We'll see. We'll see.
How often do you get to see your family?
I don't get to see them that much. Yeah, I'm one of the busiest people. Everyone always says that you're like one of the busiest people I know. I'm like, I know. Last time I drove home, because it's just a drive away.
Yeah.
Last year was maybe in January.
Oh, wow. So,
yeah, I hadn't been home all year. So for holidays, they always have to drive down here because I'm always in the middle of something. It's either I'm in the middle of filming like a series for YouTube, or I'm in the middle of doing something for music or filming a music video, which is what happened this year.
Yeah.
And so they always come down here, which they don't mind. They love getting away. Yeah. And love coming to LA. But yeah, I haven't been able to but we talk every day. Like my dad's my best friend in the whole world.
That's awesome.
Always knows all the drama, all the chisme going on with the friend group. I call my dad first. I'm like, you'll never guess what so-and-so did. So we've always been really, really close, which is nice, yeah.
And so you moved from San Jose to Los Angeles. You're pursuing your dancing career, your YouTube career, and your artist career. Yeah. What else? What other career do you think you're gonna be pursuing?
I know. What else can I do? People always comment that like, what doesn't she do? I've recently started a TikTok.
There we go.
So we'll see how that goes. Which is crazy because now that's a thing. Like people are there's a TikToker, there's YouTubers and there's TikTokers, and TikTokers are making just as much money as like the big YouTubers. So it's funny to see like what could be next? Like what's the next platform that people are going to make a career out of from home? Yeah. So now it's TikTok is the new thing.
I have seen a change in the last, I'd say, 5 years, where a lot of YouTubers would rely on their advertising,
Yep.
through AdSense.
Yep.
But now I see a lot of people do ads.
Yep.
On Instagram.
Yep.
So have you been able to do that as well?
Yeah. I used to do I don't do a lot of stuff on Instagram anymore. Just because I feel Instagram is different. You throw a brand deal on YouTube and people are like, usually brand deals, I mean, for me anyway, like I won't accept a brand deal unless it's authentic to me, whether I've already been using it or etc.
Yeah.
I just did a whole project with PacSun, which was cool because I actually worked in stores with PacSun for 6 years. So that was
That's cool.
home. That was close to home. So that was why I took that on. So I feel like when people on YouTube especially, like I always try to make it as authentic as possible. And so people don't see it as like, oh, it's just another ad. I feel like on Instagram, people like I haven't done like a Instagram ad and like hashtag ad in so long because I feel like people think it's like, oh my God, like you see hashtag ad and people are like, oh, she's making money off of this post. Like that's why she's posting it type of situation. And I feel like ads on Instagram are like looked down upon. So I try not to do them on Instagram all that much. But I mean, people are making just as much, if not double from Instagram ads.
Right.
It's the same. It's like it's the same brands.
Yeah.
Paying the same amount of money, basically. It's just on a different platform.
I have seen some folks on there that it just, maybe because they never took any acting classes either, but
that it doesn't seem authentic.
It doesn't seem authentic at all.
Yeah.
It's not, and sometimes it's not even well produced. Like they'll just do it with their iPhone or whatever, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem authentic.
It's for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like that's why like sometimes I just try to keep it as real as possible. If it is like a product, like I'll literally use it for like a month before even doing the deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What do you tell the people that aspire to be like you? They want to wear all these different hats and achieve all these different things. What are some of the things that you would advise them to do? Characteristics to have, personality traits.
Yeah. I feel like it's so cliche to say never give up, but it's so big. Like I've had so many like downfalls the past like 8 years being out here where like, for example, like losing our record deal, like that was like such a hit for me. Like that was like such like I was like, I can't go on, the whole thing. Yeah. And here I am still like fighting and I'm in the door, but like barely getting in the door. 8 years later, you just have to work and work and work.
Yeah.
And you just cannot let anyone tell you that you weren't meant. When you're so passionate about something and so hungry for something, like you just can't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
And there's always a way to do something. Like I moved out here with like no money. Like you always figure it out. And yeah, just if it's what you want to do, then do it. I'm just a little girl from San Jose. Like, who knew? Like, you know what I mean? If I go back to my high school, people are like my teachers were like, we always knew. I was like, no, you didn't. Like, you just have to keep working on it. And as long as you have a good support system, good friends, good positive people around you, because you are the company you keep. And I feel like that's also a big reason why I've elevated so much in the past 2 years is because of the friends that I've let into my life. And just being focused, don't let anything distract you. I was in a 6-year relationship that I was stuck in, and I feel like that's probably another reason, not to throw him under the bus, but I have to get into that. But I feel like that was another reason why I was like at a standstill, was because I was putting my focus into another human being, and which is totally fine, but you also can't, even though I do a lot of things, I feel like you can never put. Now that I'm doing 100% music, I am still doing YouTube, but I'm slowly, I'm not posting as much as I was. And I feel like when you put 100% into one avenue, then you skyrocket. Yeah. But when you try to put 25%, 25, 25, 25 into everything, you're moving at like this pace instead of like working on one thing at 100 and just like.
Yeah, taking off.
And so that's basically this year, it's like music is like my 100%. Life. Yeah. And we're just gonna.
That's awesome.
We're gonna see how it goes.
There you go. Yeah. You actually talked a little bit about it right now, but I was gonna ask you, how important is positivity, optimism in your life?
So I mean, it's huge. My whole house is like, there's positive, there's positive, that. Like there's like signs everywhere. I grew up. My dad's very into meditating. So I grew up in a very like spiritual, very positive household. Mm-hmm. And I mean, my first science project, oh my gosh, my first science project, which I won the blue ribbon, I won first place. But as a kid, everyone thought I was a weirdo. I was like 8 years old. I did a science project where I meditated with plants to help them grow. And it worked. I had the one plant that we didn't meditate with. It was basically my dad meditating with the plants because I didn't know what I was doing at 8. But we didn't tell it to the teacher, obviously. But no, it really did work. Like the one that he would meditate with every day grew out of the pot, and the other one barely made it out of the pot, and so won first place and all that. So I just grew up with that kind of dad. I've always been positive. He's very big on, your thoughts are energy, which is true. Like you can measure your thoughts on energy waves, and and he's like, your positive ones will attract positive ones, and I've heard that since I was a kid, and so I've never for a second have I ever said I can't do this, I don't want to do this. Never.
Yeah.
There's never been a doubt in my mind that I wasn't supposed to be where I'm at or doing music, and I've also visualized it for so long. I literally sit at least for a good 5 minutes a day and picture myself on the Grammy stage, picture myself on the VMA stage and stuff like that. So I feel like that's why I am where I am too, is that you have to really think. Your thoughts are a powerful thing.
They are.
Being positive it's a big thing, and if you're struggling with that, first step is finding positive people around you.
That's good.
People that just radiate positive energy.
Yeah.
And that's that. I could go on and on about being positive.
That's good. Let's talk about your writing process.
Yeah.
Coming up with your songs, Temporary, Strangers.
Yeah.
You wrote these, right?
Yeah.
So what's that like?
Yeah, Temporary. So it's funny because I actually might drop I might just drop it on SoundCloud actually, but I have a version of Temporary that I wrote 3 years ago that I performed at a show. And then when I started the Univision House, I was like, hey, there's a song that I wrote about 3 years ago. Can we just rewrite it completely, rework it, and revamp it? And that's how Temporary came about, just from an idea I had from 3 years ago. Strangers was me and my boy Nico from Unlisted, and we literally just sat in a room. He was on his guitar, and he just played some chords, and he was like, what do you want to write about? And I was like, this is what I want to write about. I had just gotten out of a situationship, and so that's how Strangers came about. But yeah, I think for me it's always just, what am I going through right now? What do I want my fans to relate to? And we just put it onto paper, and then put
it out there.
Yeah.
And what about the melody structure of the song, or the chords?
Yeah.
Do you have a say in that process too?
Yeah. So I feel like the boys, because all boys, and Allie, one of my writers, Allie, she's been really hands on in the whole process since the beginning. She wrote Temporary, and I feel like they know me so well now.
Yeah,
we've become such a little family that they know what key I like to be in, and they know all that. So when we're sitting there and we'll be like, oh, what are you feeling like today? I was like, oh, let's do a beat like this, or let's do a song like this. We always make it from scratch, and then I'll sit there with them and be like, oh yeah, da-da-da, and then we'll start humming melodies, and then we'll put words to the melodies, and yeah.
Does anybody ever come to you with a song, say, hey, I want you to sing on this song?
It's only been once. My song Nothing Now was pre-written. It was actually a song that Allie wrote a year in advance and had the beat and everything.
Yeah, that's the trap one, right? That
No, Nothing Now is
Oh, I'm thinking of On and On.
You're thinking about On and On. Oh, On and On was also brought to me. I totally forgot about On and On. That was one of the Univision House songs. So yeah, that song was also brought to me. It was written in advance. And I was like, I love this beat. Let's do it. And then I put my friend Jared on it. And that was On and On.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I always like to make it from scratch because I feel like it's the most authentic that way.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off on Nothing Now when you were talking about it.
Yeah, Nothing Now was a pre-written song that Allie wrote, and I just fell in love with it right away. I was like, can I please record this? And there was actually another song, which I still haven't put out. So the funny thing about that, I fell in love with Nothing Now so much that there was another song called Best Mistake that isn't out yet. And it was supposed to come out. We had it scheduled and everything to come out. And then I was just at Allie's, like, working on a song, and she played Nothing Now, and I was like, can I record this? And she goes, absolutely. And we fell in love with it so much that we, like, knocked Best Mistake out of the calendar, and just, like, really last minute, I put together that video in, like, a week, and we put out Nothing Now.
Yeah. Do you work on the choreography for all your videos?
Yeah, so I choreograph, which is nice. I mean,
that's awesome.
I have my parents to thank for that. Like, being a dancer, like, it has come so in handy. I choreographed my show for VidCon. I choreographed my last video, Good Love. I choreographed Nothing Now.
Yeah.
So
I remember when we were doing temporary and it was like maybe
tech rehearsal? Or what?
Yeah, it was one of the rehearsals, and I think it was the third one in. And you wanted one of the hits that we came up with at the ending, which I forgot about.
I was like, I choreographed to this hit. You have to do this hit.
Yeah, you're like, here, let me show you the recording. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I did forget about that. Good thing you brought it out. But it was cool. It was cool.
Because, I mean, I was choreographing to whatever rehearsal video I had. But,
Well, NEZZA, I mean, this is great. This is so awesome. Thank you for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's always fun.
Any last words for the listeners and viewers? Anything you want to share?
I mean, I got new music coming out.
Yeah.
Hey. No, just thank you for always rocking with me. Like, I have the best fans in the world. I always say this, but it's crazy how supportive they are. But yeah, thank you for always rocking with me. Stay positive, stay hungry, stay humble. Stay humble, stay hungry. I've said that my whole life. That's my Twitter bio till this day. Since like 2008. It's stay hungry, stay humble. So yeah.
Nice. This is NEZZA, singer-songwriter, YouTuber, choreographer.
We'll see.
Almost astronaut.
Almost astronaut. Yeah, almost.
Episode 21, Sir Kevin says. Thank you guys for joining.
Welcome back. Thank you for checking out episode number 21 with NEZZA. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Episode number 22 is coming out next week. Make sure to tune in. Have your notifications turned on to know when the new episode is released. All right? Peace and blessings, my friends. Thanks for watching.